I'd like to call upon Carmel's subconscious, please.
We are here.
Thank you so much for coming back to us again today. Are we able to do a body scan and understand what is happening to her body?
Yes, we can do that. She is relaxed.
Wonderful. She was curious about the nosebleed and if they had any purpose that you would like to let her know today.
It was energy that she needed to release. And she was able to do this easier by having a nosebleed. It's also the toxicity in her blood that she's picked up from around her. We were able to release it in the blood that was coming out of her nose.
Where did she pick up that toxicity from?
Her grandchildren.
Tell me more about that.
There's a bit of negativity at home, a bit of stress, and they're feeling the pressures of the lockdowns and the isolation time, and no school and not being able to go out and about, and the parents being a bit stressed about it. So the kids are picking up the negative energy. And then they were able to release it when they come and stayed with her for a couple of days. And they were able to release it. And because it's blood, it's part of her, her grandchildren are part of her. It was easier to have a blood nose to release the blood connection. And this helps clear them. And support them.
Thank you so much. She was wondering why they seemed to be so wide awake at 2 a.m. in the morning. So she was questioning if they'd had an upgrade. What would you like her to know?
They were all cleared of the dense energy that they have absorbed because they're little sponges. So she helped them clear their energy. And when their energy was cleared and the density out of them was cleared, they felt a sense of freedom. And this just gave their body a new feeling of freedom and lightness and fun. And yes, the older one did get an upgrade. He's 14 now, so he's able to handle it. But it was mainly the release of the dense energy that they were carrying. The fear, the worry. This was released and it gave them freedom.
Thank you so much. That will give her great confirmation, so thank you. She was curious about the almond trees, that they flowered so quickly. She wanted to know if that was normal or if it has sped up.
No, it has sped up. She's noticed the flowers in her garden have flowered and then finished flowering so quickly. But all around, it's springtime in this area. All around, it's all sped up It has to. The trees are carrying all this energy that they have built up in preparation for spring. And for the trees and the flowers and the bulbs and the plants to shift, they have to release that energy. So they're going through their transition period that's normal spring into summer quite quickly. And they need to do this so that they have released the energy that they have inside in preparation to shift, which is not far away, so that they are prepared too.
Well, thank you. One of Camille's questions was, how far away are the disclosures about the health and government? I'm not getting any answers. She was wondering if they were already occurring.
Some of it is already occurring, but there's a lot more to come out. And some of the disclosures are going to shock people. And they need to, because they're the ones in doubt. And they are believing all the information about the health and the government. It's coming. I can't get a sense of when. But when it does come, there's going to be a lot of other things happening as well. But I'm not getting exactly when. I can see the disclosures. I can see the reaction of the people, the disbelief, the uncertainty that everything that they've known and believed in is going to be turned upside down. And this is going to cause a great deal of stress. Because when the disclosures do start, it's going to be a lot of information. I get a sense, a feeling that it's soon, but not exactly when. Maybe sooner than we think. Maybe sooner than we think.
Camille was concerned that it would be too much for people to be shocked with this information. She wanted to understand, when people hear this information of the disclosures, how long does it take them to be able to cope, process that, to be able to then be ready for the shift?
Some people won't cope. They will be in total disbelief, and they'll reside back into their own little bubble where they feel safe and they don't have to listen to the truth. And being in this little bubble, they're protecting themselves and raising their vibrations. And they will be prepared for the shift. But there will be some people who won't cope. And it'll, sorry. I think Carmel doesn't want to speak this. She's feeling emotional. Some people are gonna go crazy with this information. They won't be able to cope with it. They'll have people around them telling them, I told you so, I told you, but they can't cope. They're going to feel as though they're going crazy. But that's their contract. That's what they wanted to feel. They want to feel what it feels like to lose their mind and go crazy. But their guides are with them. And as soon as a shift happens, they will shift. But they won't necessarily. They will shift back to source and be able to be healed. There will be a lot of violence, a lot of trauma, but it's coming. The violence and the trauma. Carmel has been feeling it coming and building up. And she doesn't want it to happen. But she doesn't know why it should happen. There's just gotta be craziness and violence. And people are gonna go crazy. There's gonna be so much anger. It's gonna be hard, especially in Australia. At some other countries, it's gonna be hard. And she just wants peace. And lots of people just want peace. But it's not gonna be that way for much longer. It's coming. It's coming. The disclosures are just part of it that's coming. And the disclosures will change a lot of people all over the world. This wasn't the plan that we were going to do, but we've had to change it. People are so connected to materialistic things and their easy lives, money they want to make, the way they want to be, and this is the cost of a lot of other people's happiness, life, and it's causing them a lot of trauma. She felt things had changed, and yes, they have. We've had to make some more changes because people who should be waking up and are being helped to wake up and realize what's really going on are fighting so hard not to wake up because they don't want to be in the real world. They want to be in their Disneyland world. They don't want to know what's really going on. They don't want to believe what's really going on. They know. They know what's going on. They feel it. But they're fighting it. But they'll have no choice soon. It'll be made public and it'll be shared everywhere. television, social media, all media. And the ones who control the media, things are going to change, that they will no longer control the media. Some things will definitely change. And they will no longer be in control. And when the truth is started to be put out there, that's when things are going to get really crazy, emotionally and traumatically for people. But it has to be this way now. We can't keep going on and waiting for people to wake up and do what they're supposed to do. They just want to be in their bubble. They just want to be in their own lives. They say they want to help, but they don't want their lives to change. They see their lives as doing things for them. And it's not going to be like that. So things are going to change very quickly. It'll start off slow. And people won't believe it. And then things that control the media and some of the governments that are controlling people are going to change drastically. And this will be a shock. But for those who know what's going on, it'll be a relief. And they will feel that they are able to step up freely without persecution. It will open up their freedom. They will have the density inside them lifted as if they have been released out of a box, a dark box. The lid will lift up and they will step out and they will be there to support the rest of humanity. But there are a lot of people who won't step up. And their contracts and the things that they were going to do or should be doing or had wanted to do, their contracts have been changed. They will step back down from being the leaders that they were supposed to be. And there will be others who nobody knows about, just sitting in the background in the corner. They will step up. They will take over. They are the ones that will help humanity. They will be the support. They're the ones whose light is shining brighter and brighter and brighter, waiting for the time. And Carmel, she's working with these people. They're in the shadows, but not shadows. They're in a bubble filled with light, connected to source. They're not part anybody knows about. They're just in the background. And when it's time, they will step forward and they will take the roles that many others have not taken. And their lights will shine and people will be drawn to them. They'll be drawn to them on social media. They'll be drawn to them in the community. These are the ones that are the light workers. These are the ones that people will listen to. These are the ones that are important now. And some of them are young. Some of them are just teenagers and young adults. They are the ones that will step into the places that are needed to be. They are the light that is coming. When the disclosures happen, they will step out. But there are millions of them. Some will only be in their communities. They won't be worldwide known. They will just be in their communities or in their areas or in their social media groups. But they will be very important to carry the others through and to shine their lights and to guide them. And Joe, some of these people are going to come to you for help because they're going to be quite confused and they will find your YouTube channels and they will get in contact through you, to you, through social media and emails. But they won't come through in little bits and pieces. You need to be prepared because there will be numerous ones all coming through at once. But you will know in your gut that these are the ones that are coming. And they just need to know that they're okay. And you will just guide them gently with just a few words. And they will feel the energy and the support you have. And when this happens, Carmel is to step back even more. She's going to be encouraged to nearly disappear off social media. She needs to get in her bubble and just be in her yard, her home. And this will be hard for her because she likes to know what's going on. But she has to step back even more and just be. But you will both know when this is happening. You will both feel it. But you will still be in contact with one another. But this is how it has to be now. This is what's coming. And then the natural disasters will also be happening. But not quite at the same time. It's going to be a little bit of a different time. Maybe a few days, maybe a week. between the disclosures and the disasters. And the laser event has also changed. What's happening with that has changed. But Carmel wants to know what. Is it worse? Is it less? We can only tell her it's changed because too many people are in fear of the laser and are focusing on the laser and not focusing on their lives and their peace. That's all we can say. It has changed. Focus on your own inner peace. Focus on your family. Focus on the small things. Focus on love, friendship. Focus on talking to your neighbour and the lady at the shop. Focus on having fun. Focus on releasing what doesn't serve you. You know what it is. You feel it. You feel a knot in your stomach. You feel pressure in your head. You feel your legs heavy. Focus on why. Ask your gods, why am I feeling like this? And release it. Let it go. Feel it. Acknowledge it. Transmute it, release, and let it go with love, understanding, compassion, forgiveness for all involved. This is important. This is important. This is important for you to do.
Thank you so much for all that information. Is it important for humanity to feel anger to be able to then collectively release it together at the same time?
Yes. Yes, it is important. They need to release the energy that has been built up inside of them. And like Carmel's nosebleeds, you can't just transmute it. You have to scream and yell. You have to move your body. You have to run. And all this at this particular time will bring up the feeling of anger and wanting to move your body and your limbs. So that's why it'll be violence. There are people who will pass over because of the violence. But that is in their contract, because that's their experiences that they need to learn, and is karma for them, because that's what they dished out in their previous lives. And the ones who are doing it to them, they are those other people's victims. It is their karma, it is their contract that this will happen.
So it's
a karma balance.
Yeah, very purposeful. So it is great to hear that the laser event is going to change. Does it mean it's going to be a smaller event that isn't going to shock too many people? Well, it's not going to be as devastating as we heard previously.
Carmel is pushing for us to say. I'm sorry, Joe, it's going to be worse.
In what ways can it be worse?
Not as in people, not as in animals, but as in land, trees, forests. There'll be cracks open up, not just burnt ground. This will set off earthquakes. This will be a lot of disaster as well as the laser. But we don't want people to be focusing on it. Accept it. Parts of the planet will crack open. Where the crack opens were to happen at a different time, they're not going to now. They will all flow one after the other. Where there was going to be the laser and then earthquakes and then volcanoes. It will all flow one after the other. Carmel's feeling really heavy. But it's all going to be okay. The people who are shifting will not be traumatized. We need you to understand. We will take them beforehand. They will not be traumatized. They will not feel 1 ounce of pain. They will not see the fear. They will not fear the fear. The ones who are to go, the ones who will be shifting, won't feel the fear. The ones left, they're the ones who have to step up too. They're the ones that have said that they will be here to help and support. There are a lot of contracts that have been changed. There have a lot of changes happening. Things have changed. There is no time left. There is no time left to do anything. The changes had to happen.
Carmel did want to know about if there is anything that is changing behind the scenes that you can't tell us about. She got a sense that there is much more happening that we're not able to know.
Yes. Yes, there is a lot of changes happening behind the scenes that we can't speak of yet. Maybe in the next week or so, Joe, you will talk to somebody and they will be able to disclose more. when the time is right, but it's not right now.
Thank you.
There is massive changes that are happening.
Okay, thank you. We can only hope it's that we will be delivering great news. Nice change.
Some is good and some is not. That's why it is best not to focus on what is not good. Because those ones who will be here focusing on the things that are not so good are meant to be here focusing on them. Others will be gone. Or they won't know about it. There will be things that will be happening behind the scenes in government bodies that you may not know about. Massive changes in them. Massive changes in the media bodies. And you won't hear about them because they won't disclose it. But this will be as it's meant to be, to give the other people the freedom to speak what they need to speak of, so that people can hear, and that people will have the freedom to hear the disclosures that are coming. And those disclosures are important to hear, and we need to make sure that they're not stopped. So if a building collapses and there are people in it, you might find it may have been the ones controlling what you're hearing, and thus giving freedom to the ones who want to speak. Be allowed to speak and be heard.
Thank you so much. We were wondering about a publishing house. Has that been blocked from sharing the bigger information about the new Earth?
Yes. Yes, Carmel's intuition was right when you were talking.
Is that to protect the information?
They don't want people to know about the truth of what's happening. And a lot of these spiritual people are under contracts from this company, Hay House, who has been taken over by the dark agendas. And they want to control what people are knowing and doing. They are controlling and only allowing what the spiritual people, what they want the spiritual people in this planet to hear. They will be one of the ones that changes are going to happen to. And then some of the light workers that are speaking will discover that they have freedom to speak. And new ones will come into the media. And people will be drawn to them. And they will have the freedom to speak. There is a lot of places that control what you see on television, what you read in books. These are where the major changes are going to happen. These are where destruction and shifts will happen. These are some of the changes that we are implementing now, because too much control over people's free will and thoughts has been happening. And this has to stop, because it is time for people to see the truth and to use their own free will to go in the direction that they feel they want to, because it feels right, not because somebody they are following says you should do this or you should do that, or believe this or believe that. Some of them will start to speak their truth, but some of them will go into feeling like they are going crazy. And people will stop following them. And somebody else will come up and they will speak. They will speak what people want to hear, and people will follow them. And they may be young people. They may be in their older teens or early 20s or in their 20s. They even might be just teenagers. But what they say will be very important for people to hear, and people will be drawn to them. And they will be supported because they will have a team. They will have their team, and they will have other people on this planet who will be part of their team and who will support them with just a few kind words, or just a couple of messages on social media will be enough to support their growth. And they can speak, and people will listen. People will listen. They will have words that they will say, and that will wake people up to go, oh my God, I can't believe that's what they said. I'm so drawn to that. Oh, what else have they got to say? I'm going to follow them. And they will listen to them. And they won't be controlled, because they will have their freedom to speak.
What can you tell us about the woman she used to follow, who has done a lot of books, who is still saying that the new Earth is a planet that is already here and that we are already on the new Earth? Why is she still?
She's been manipulated, because she also belongs to this Hay House community and has been part of their community for a long time. She doesn't realize that the manipulation that they've been doing with her, so she's just following along. But She's ready not to be here anymore. She feels as though she's done enough for humanity, and she has. So it'll be time for her to shift. When the first lot of things happen, her and others, they'll shift. And they'll be okay with that because that's what they're ready for. They really feel they are ready. And she is ready.
Thank you. This was confusing for Camille to love this woman and respect this woman and still be confused why she was still giving the old information.
Because she's being controlled.
Okay, thank you. We understand. Another question that Camille had was about people who are changing their minds from suddenly wanting to be inoculated. She's curious, what's happening there when they have swapped their positions from resisting to now accepting?
Their guides are guiding them, because even though they didn't want to, they were living in fear. And this fear was too strong for them to get over. We are in control of what is going into their bodies. And when they go and have this treatment, we are adjusting their bodies, but they have agreed to it. In their sleep, we have readjusted things. Contracts have been changed. Free will has been given. They are receiving this treatment. It is helping them release the fear. It is helping them adjust their bodies. A lot of them are feeling very unwell and in pain. But by succumbing and allowing the pain, they are succumbing and allowing the changes inside of them. They are adjusting. They are releasing their fear. They are feeling at peace. They are not feeling the pressure that has been pushed onto them from family, friends, and media and governments. They are feeling at peace with it all. And they are being upgraded immensely. But because of their free will has said yes, and this is what is happening, they are just raising the vibration, raising their light, connecting to their inner peace and their love, connecting to their community, connecting to their families again, because a lot of disconnection, a lot of distrust, a lot of fear has happened in families and in communities and in environments. People are afraid to talk to somebody else because of the health issue. And if they've had the treatment, they feel they can get back to getting together with their families. talking to their friends in the street, getting back with their families and feeling that peace and that connection. This is why this is another change. There are a lot of people protesting against it, and it is purposeful for them, and that is what they need to do. But the ones who are just going, I want to move on with my life, I want to get out of this matrix of fear and doubt, they are able to. We are there. The collectives, their team, they are all there. They are all working with them. We have so much more down on the ground on this planet Earth now. So many more beings are here. So many more have stepped in to support what is going on. So many more have stepped in to this planet. People have changed. This is Carmel's higher self now. We have some information. We are ready to share with you. There are people on this planet whose bodies have been stepped in from the higher beings. They have agreed to this. They have stepped out of their bodies like a walk-in. Their bodies have gone to the ships, and they are there with their crystalline bodies now. There are many higher beings who have made massive sacrifices to step down into these bodies here on this planet to help humanity. Some of them are working with the people who are doing the health, and they are stepping up to show why changes have to happen. Some of them are with the protesters so that they are stepping up and directing them in a successful way to go. Some of them are working in the hospitals and working with the communities and supporting the people, especially the vulnerable ones who have been forced into taking this health treatment. There are higher beings in there supporting them, guiding them, taking care of them. The governments aren't the ones who are controlling the health treatment. It is us. It is us. We are doing it. We are doing it now. This is Carmel's higher self. I have to reside because it's too much for her to hold. Her subconscious is coming back. I am back here now. We needed to let you know there is no fear with the inoculations anymore. Call on your teams. Do what you feel you need to do. teams are with you. There is support in the places that you're going to be having this treatment. There are millions. There are billions of beings here now supporting you, because this seemed to be the only way we could do this. Because we don't have time. We don't have 1 year, we don't have 2 years. This has to happen now. This has to happen now. Changes have to happen soon. Because we don't have the time anymore. And so much has to happen. So we are helping it happen, but nobody's free will is being disrespected. It is your free will to have the treatment. It is your free will to receive the changes. And it is your free will to allow these higher beings to come in. If you are listening to this and you feel as though something inside of you has changed, yes, they have. You may be one of those beings who are now have a walk-in. But you don't have any fear. You are filled with love. You are filled with compassion. You are filled with source energy.
Thank you. As you know, we are multidimensional beings. Those walk-ins, is it possible it is a higher dimensional version of ourselves walking in, or is it something else?
Higher dimensional selves of your higher dimensional being of yourself. You have allowed to come in to support you.
Thank you. I do. I understand.
It is not a stranger to you. It is somebody you know.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And do you get a sense of the change of these walk-ins? Is this something that is relatively new, or has this been happening for a while?
It is relatively new. The collectives and the council and the federation have had lots of meetings, lots of discussions. We need to move things forward faster. There was lots and lots of meetings going on. That's why a lot of people haven't been sleeping even more and have felt out of sorts. Their bodies are out of sorts. They don't understand. They're confused. But the difference is they're not worried about it and they're not in fear. They have agreed to do this, and the higher beings that have come down is part of their teams, and they have made sacrifices to do this. because to come down is quite hard for them. But they have made that choice to help their team, to help their person that is here on this planet. If you feel this may be you, then be at peace with it, to know that it is your team member that is with you and that you are okay. But you already know this. You already know that you're okay. Don't focus on it. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on the work you are doing. Focus on love. Focus on peace. Focus on compassion. And focus on understanding. You don't need 8 hours of sleep. You only need 2 or 3. And that's okay. You don't need to eat much, because you are being fed differently. Drink water, be in sunshine, be in the air, be in the rain. This is all supporting you. Listen to your intuition. What it's saying is the truth. If you have any doubts or you have any questions, reach out to the Facebook groups that you are part of, and somebody will give you the answer you are seeking. Listen to the things that you are being guided to go to or see or do. Do them, and you will have peace.
Thank you. Could it also be possible that some walk-ins could be what we would perceive as denser energies? Is that a possibility as well?
No. No, this is not possible.
What about?
No, because the walk-ins have been protected.
Is it possible after the shift that some souls can exit the bodies, and after the shift some more denser souls can enter to have the old earth experience?
Yes, but this is not very many.
Okay, thank you so much. Great clarification. Camille also wanted to know about the sun flares. Are they increasing because of the coming shift or something else?
No, yes and no. The sun flares, the Schumann resonance, the other issues that she is seeing on that YouTube group. That is when the beings are coming down into the bodies, into the people that are here and shifting. And their soul is going out and they're moving in. That's why people are having such a traumatic's not the word. Such a change in how they're feeling, and feeling that they have changed or something is adjusted in them. These sunflowers and the energy that are coming out is supporting the beings coming down and doing the walk-ins, and that other person's soul shifting out, going on to the ship and reconnecting with their crystalline bodies. This is going to continue to ramp up because this is supporting this event happening. It is also sending energy into the planet, which is then supporting the planet's energy for the upcoming natural disasters that will be happening very soon. The energy in the planet is building up that it is going to burst. It is nearly at boiling point now. So there will be more sun flares. There will be more energy. There will be more coming in. And yes, it is all part of the shift, but it is not the shift. It is in preparation of the shift.
Thank you. We understand. There seems to be more volcano activity. What would you like us to know?
There is energy underneath them. And the energy will come out of them and it will have a flow-on effect. And some of them that are rumbling quite noticeably now will actually change quite dramatically. And ones nearby that are quiet will actually become very active and blow. It will have a flow-on effect. It will be quite disastrous in some places. And the flow-on effect will be tsunamis. It'll be earthquakes. It will be disasters. But no, nobody who will shift due to these disasters will know or feel traumatized. They will be in peace.
Thank you so much. Is there any final messages that you have for us?
Focus on your family, focus on laughter, focus on companionship and understanding. Don't be judgmental. Try not to be judgmental. The love and the peace is rising up. The collectives and the main collectives is feeling a positive energy rising up. When the social media are pushing so much fear and drama and trauma, it is not the truth. The truth is that the fear is so small now because people are being at peace and love, companionship, and starting to be in their communities. Let it flow. Let this companionship, let understanding, let peace, let love flow Enjoy laughter. Laughter is so good. It raises you up so much. Enjoy the things that make you laugh. Enjoy doing silly things. Enjoy doing what you enjoy doing. It gives you pleasure. Enjoy.
Thank you so much for that perspective and wisdom. We always appreciate connecting in with you.